So, podemos, Jackson, tá? Já.
Já está transmitindo, professor.
Muito bem. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is a pleasure for us to open the session 2025 of the BRICS Study Group of the University of São Paulo, BRICS, with the presence and the conference made by Councillor Carolina Costellini, coordinator of regional agreements and the BRICS in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Brazil. The opportunity to listen to her and her participation in the BRICS summit in the last month of May. We had the opportunity to talk about the outcome of that summit meeting in May in a seminar organized by the State University of Rio de Janeiro with Professor Rafael Vasconcelos. So it is for us an opportunity to listen to the Brazilian diplomat that is directly involved and working with the BRICS along the latest years. So, Councillor Carolina Costellini, you are welcome and you have the floor, please.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. On behalf of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I would like first to say that it's always a pleasure to partner with the São Paulo University, especially to talk about BRICS. We were very glad when we received the invitation, and during our chairship, we had some contacts with the university, people from the university, and the exchanges were always very fruitful for us. As president of this current chairship, one of our main objectives was to try to get closer to the civil society. So this partnership with the university is part of our this engagement, this larger engagement with the civil society. Well, I would like to start saying that maybe it's a misconception, because as we had the summit in July, sometimes people think that Brazil is not longer the president of BRICS, but we are still leading the group to the end of the year. We had a meeting in New York recently that was coordinated by India, but this is a tradition from BRICS. The country, this meeting in New York is always chaired by the next chairship, but we are in charge. We are leading BRICS till the end of this year. So we are going to have a final Sherpas meeting the end of the year, and then pass the gavel to India, our dear friend from India. And well, the chairship, our assessment so far is that the chairship was a very successful one. We had a very impressive challenge before us when we start this process, not only because of BRICS, the agenda, we have a lot, is very, very broad. We have a lot of mechanisms. It's always difficult to lead the group, thinking about the amount of work that we should do. But this is a special context for us. Last year, we have G20. So the bureaucracy was a little bit tired when we started with BRICS. And this year, in a couple of weeks, actually, we have COP30, and we still have Mercosur summit. So it's a very challenging context, but we think that so far our chairship was very successful, especially on those issues that we established that as priorities for our chairship. We have a very interesting declaration from the leaders in July that reflects the key outcomes of our presidency. And as you may have seen, in addition to the declaration, we adopted three thematic documents, and these documents are aligned with our priorities. We had the BRICS Leaders Framework Declaration on Climate Finance, the BRICS Leaders Declaration on Global Artificial Intelligence Governance, and the BRICS Partnership for the Elimination of Socially Determined Disease. So these issues, climate finance, AI, and the elimination of socially determined disease, these were priorities for us, together with peace and security. This is always a priority in BRICS, and we focus a lot on the reform of the global governments and the amplification of the voice of the global South when you talk about peace and security. And our declaration delivered important message on urgent issues of international peace and security, especially the situation in Palestine, recent attacks against Iran. So we also had as a priority the economic pillar, and in this sense, we also had a strong message in defense of multilateral trade system, and this relation between trade and environment. We have a very interesting document on that. And in financial matters, we, of course, worked on a topic that is very important to BRICS, that is the increasing quotas for emerging markets in IMF and the World Bank. And we also, I mentioned three priorities, then the financial economic agenda, of course, peace and security. And there is our sixth priority was institutional development. The Brazilian chairship had a very important task that was to incorporate the partner countries into the chairship. When we started this process, we had a new member, Indonesia, joining the club as a new full member. And then during the process, first in January, Nigeria joined as partner countries, and then in May, Vietnam joined as a partner country. And it was up to us to try a formula to make sure that the partner countries will be part of BRICS. So we selected some meetings, invited them to follow these discussions. So it's always very interesting to have new perspectives on the debate. And for all the partner countries, of course, were invited for the summit. And we opened some of our leaders' documents to the partner countries, and we were very glad that some countries, actually 4 countries, joined, co-signed this document, showing that our priorities are also are issues that are important also to partner countries. So for us, during the summit, it was always also very, we are also very glad to have the presence of important leaders from international organization. We have the high representatives from the World Health Organization, WTO, of course, the UN. Antonio Gutierrez was with us in July. And for Brazil, this idea of the strengthening of multilateralism was a very important one. An idea, an objective that guided our work. So this was really for us was really important to have the representatives with us during the summit. We also had, during our chairship, I think when you talk about BRICS, this more the political consultation aspect, the news related to, the paragraph related to Palestine, to WTO, these are the paragraphs that make the headlines. But we also have a very strong technical cooperation aspect in BRICS that people not normally they don't know about this. It's, of course, is our responsibility to give more publicity. We try to do this during the chairship. We published most of our technical concept notes so in our website, so the people from the academy or the private sector, they could have access to these documents to understand what we have in terms of technical cooperation. Is a very broad agenda. We try to count all the BRICS mechanisms, and when we reach 150 mechanisms, we just stopped and say, okay, just let's have the meetings and do our best. But although we had this challenge before us of having so much meetings here in Brasilia or online, especially after G20, we think that we achieved some good results in this technical cooperation. It was up to us to update some action plans, the action plan on energy cooperation, the BRICS economic partnership strategy. That is a document we are still under negotiation, but the Brazilian presidency also was responsible for the first BRICS innovation action plan, the first working plan on small medium enterprises working group. So we try our best to make sure that to keep this agenda on track, the technical cooperation, but also make sure that the new members, that they are not new members. Indonesia was the only new member during the chairship, but make sure that this countries that joined BRICS in 2023, they were aware of the negotiation process. They were aware of all the aspects of this technical process. So this is an ongoing task. And as I said, during the second semester, even after the summit, we are still having very interesting meetings, especially in the track of science and technology, and some engagements with especially with the civil society. And the engagement with civil society, I think, was a hallmark of the whole Brazil's our presidency. For the first time, the BRICS Civil Council, that is a formal mechanism in BRICS, was invited to present a report to leaders. Normally, we had only the BRICS Business Forum and the Humans Business Alliance, and for the first time, we invited the BRICS Civil Council to present their report to leaders. So the idea was to enlarge a little bit the engagement with the leaders, with the civil society, not only the private sector, business people, but also with the civil council. We had a lot of meetings with we supported a lot of meetings from this people-to-people pillar, parliamentary forum, business council, youth council, trade union forum, think tanks council, academic forum, municipalities association, and all this the representatives from all these segments were invited to somehow to engage with governments and offer recommendations. They participated in the second Sherpas meeting. So we try our best to make sure that the civil society, the voice of the civil society is heard. So far we had around 250. I think we are gonna end the chairship with around 250 meetings, including meetings here in Brasilia. We have around 20 ministerial meetings, and it's important to say that although the declaration is formally adopted by BRICS leaders and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is responsible for the coordination, the declaration and the declarations, because it's not only the BRICS leaders declaration, we have other 2 documents adopted in leaders level. But all this work is the product of a joint efforts. In Brazil, we had around 30 ministries in agencies contributing to the technical groundwork and the overall success of the presidency. So, and as I say, the work is still going on. You also start to during the second half of the year to use this extra month after the summit to advance some initiatives that were launched in Rio, and we stay very committed to the BRICS agenda, especially the next chair will be India. It's a very close country. It's not Brazil has a very tradition, a very strong relationship with India, and we feel that this is going to be a smooth transition, especially because we have very common perceptions with India, and we feel that they will hopefully give some attention to our initiatives. So we are very excited to for next year to have the India chairship, and also very committed to strengthening BRICS from an institutional point of view. At some time, we are going to have a presidency from a country that joined BRICS in 2023. It's going to be, of course, an interesting presidency, and we have been working a lot to make sure that the new countries, the new members, they can catch up the discussions, but also prepare themselves to chair BRICS at some point in the future. Not near future. We have our colleagues from India. I think I use my 20 minutes, Paulo, with this overall presentation of our presidency. You see that we I use the terms presidency, chairship, chairmanship. There is no consensus in BRICS if it's presidency, chairship, chairmanship. So as consensus is the base of in BRICS, we use all the terms to avoid any, we are not going to privilege one or another. But I think independently of the term, the whole process was very interesting for us, was very interesting. Is always, this is not the first time that Brazil lead the BRICS, but is every time is different, because we see that BRICS has been growing so fast and so quickly, when not only in terms of membership, but in terms of the issues that are covered when you look at the first declarations. And we, of course, during the process of during the discussion of our priorities for this year, we had the opportunity of look back, and when if you check the first declarations, the number of issues that were raised are so. I think the first declaration has 13 paragraphs, and we end up with 124 paragraphs. We try our best to make it a little bit more concise, but as I say, as I said, the declaration is a joint effort, and so it's fair to register there the hard work of all the working groups, of all the ministry and agencies, all of our partners, and our priorities. So I hope that in the next time that Brazil lead BRICS, we're gonna have a even stronger agenda, and stronger BRICS, in the sense that the the membership is not only enlarged but also very well consolidated. Thank you, Paulo. I'll give you back the floor, and of course I'm open to answer some questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councillor Costellini. It is a pleasure to have Gabriela Carolina today with us. And this is the message is clear that BRICS is in the map, and there is a BRICS is more easily perceived, which is reflected in press, but also there is a huge work of technical groups along the year preparing topics that are more or less reflected in the final declaration. So there is an apparent BRICS, and there is also another large amount of work that is being carried on that does not appear so easily on the press and the media in general. So I will ask the executive coordinator of the BRICS of this year, Julia Gomez, to present the questions from the audience to Carolina. Please, Julia.
Hello, thank you, Carolina, for your speech. So far, I don't think we have received any questions here on the chat. Let's just give them some time to send them.
Well, while we are waiting for the questions, one interesting aspect of BRICS is that you said, Carolina, we have the question of terminology, and it is also an amazing feature that BRICS as such is not an international organization. There is no treaty founding BRICS. But on the other hand, BRICS has created an organization, the New Development Bank, and this is something which is often confused by press and the media, when they talk about joining BRICS, which is requires some explanation of how it precisely works. Is there any intention or any talk about making BRICS a formal international organization? Could you comment on that?
No, at this point, Paulo, there is no intention in reformulating or the current the current status. BRICS is what it is an informal group in the sense of that we don't have a treaty, we don't have a secretariat, and the chairship is responsible for hosting the meetings, arranging the meetings, setting the priorities. So, of course, in we with the current membership is more challenging to coordinate everything. Is getting more difficult to the chairships to coordinate everything. So what we have been discussing is more methods to organize our work. And this institutional development discussion is about that. How can we work more efficiently without a secretariat, but with some guidelines, because if when you have a secretariat, then for instance, this year Brazil started an initiative on sustainable government procurement. Is a new initiative. We had a seminar on that, and our expectation is, okay, this is a discussion that we thought that would be interesting to have in BRICS, but it's not a formal working group, because if we start to turn everything into working groups, then it's impossible to give attention to all the mechanisms. So at this point, the Brazilian chairship, one of our intentions during this discussion of institutional development was to see how can we organize and have a more clear, a more established structure, in a way to even to the public to understand what is going on, because we have a working group that very well established. For instance, this science and technology track, we have a memorandum of understanding back from I think 2015. So this is a very well consolidated initiative or track. In some cases, the consolidation is not yet there. So we need to find ways to make it more efficiently, because it's very difficult when you have a new country, a new member, and you cannot provide a clear picture of, oh, these are all the mechanisms that we have, or the discussion here and there at this point. So, and of course, the secretariat is normally the secretariat is responsible for this kind of task, but we don't have the intention right now to have a secretariat. So we have to find ways of making our job a little bit easier to doing for the next years. It's good to have the flexibility of presenting initiatives, but at the same time it's getting more complicated to have everything on track.
And it is certainly a challenge for the newcomers to join all the matters that are already being discussed. This is certainly quite a challenge also for the country that is leading in that year to make all of the new participants aware of all that was going on so far, so that they can join for sure. And it's
Yes, it's a challenge, and each country will have their limitations in terms of a bureaucracy, because we have different realities in BRICS. So when for instance Brazil says, oh, okay, we would like to have a discussion, a seminar on sustainable government procurement, for instance, just picking an example, uh, the first task is to identify in all the countries, each agency is responsible for this discussion. And sometimes the bureaucracy is small, and then they don't have a specific person or a specific department to deal with that issue. So when I say about this, when I talk about this consolidation um, job, is also to try to understand the bureaucracies, the new bureaucracies, because at the end of the day, the BRICS is made by people, and getting to know each other, to know the ministry, the agencies, how they work, even the holidays now is a challenge, because um, uh, we can't. If you put more people in the room, it gets a little bit more complicated to not only to, find a common language on super hot topic issues like Palestine, but the daily work is also more complicated. So yes, this is is a challenge for us, is a challenge for the new members, and we still have the partner countries. So our idea was to start little by little. When we selected the meetings to invite them, we try to, pick some ministerial meetings, some technical meetings, some activities from the people to people pillar, seminars, to give them a little a taste of everything, and so they can start uh, to understand all these aspects of BRICS, not only the leaders. Of course, they are going to attend the leaders meeting. Of course, they're going to attend the foreign ministers meeting, but it's also, they also, we thought that would be interesting, also give them the opportunity to get to know these other aspects, these other types of meetings, because is a way to we think that this is a way of catching up, a way of prepare the bureaucracies, the governments to um, work with us. Only leaders, we think that is the leaders meeting, the summit is the end of the process. So what comes first is also very, very important, and that's why we focus so much on this institutional development issues.
so it is certainly a huge work and growing very fast. Julia, you have some questions, so as long as Carolina is kind enough to answer some more, thank you.
Yes. Uh, what has been discussed in BRICS countries in terms of commercial war and its impacts in the members, which are mostly developing countries?
Well, during the chairship, we had when you have this kind of situation that an issue just come up in the middle of your chairship, in when we set our priorities, when we wrote our concept notes in January, when we published them, this was not a hot topic. Of course, trade is an important topic in BRICS, and we have the structure, the mechanisms to discuss trade issues. is a contact group on economic and trade issues, CEGET. And what we have from April to now, we decided to approach this issue both ways, on a technical level with minutes of meetings from the CEGET, but also on a more high level on more high level meetings, and we did in May we had the mini trade ministers ministries, and they had a very strong message on that. And then during leaders, if you check there is a specific paragraph on unilateral trade measures, on the reform of WTO, because for us all these issues are connected. It's not only about the unilateral measures, but the necessity of reforming WTO and this correlation between trade and the sustainable development. So we try to, of course, use our mechanism, but at the same time to give the attention that this topic requires. The BRICS countries were affected in different ways by these unilateral measures. When I say unilateral measures, you can note that I'm not saying, I'm not specifying a country, because we see this as more the result of years of for years we have been, it's not only in WTO but other multilateral organization, we are always postponing this discussion, like a serious discussion on the reform of multilateralism, and that what we have is the result of this process of weakening the international organization. So we are not saying, oh, this is up to one country or this country or that country. This is unfortunately, this is the collective reaction of years of inaction. So, but I think that the BRICS message is very clear. We are, since the creation of the group, one of our main objectives is the reform of multilateral, of the global governance, and what we have today, the promise that we have in somehow they are related to this neglect of this discussion. So we also have this is such a hot topic. President Lula also invited the leaders for a new round of discussion in September regarding global governance. Of course, we talked about the reform of WTO. This is a very important topic for Brazil. Brazil is a country that was WTO was always very important for us. We always saw the organization as a way of making sure that our interests, our trade interests, will be somehow safe. And when we are one of the countries that maybe we are, I want to say the number, but we resort to the dispute settlement a lot. So the WTO is a very important organization for us, and the discussion of the reform. And we think that also regarding WTO, the BRICS message was very clear. It's not only about the unilateral measures, but how we can overcome this measure in a collective way.
Thank you so much for your answer. We have some others here. What do you think are the next steps for the relationship between the BRICS and the USA following the recent meeting between Trump and Lula?
Well, I think the most well, the meeting was yesterday. Today is holiday in Brasilia, so I didn't have the opportunity to discuss this internally. But I think the most important aspect of this discussion or of the role of the United States or the relation between BRICS and the United States, the most important thing I think is up to us to try um, to deal with some misconceptions regarding BRICS because many of that things that were said about about BRICS, they were not true. So, and it's up to us to clarify what is true, what is not true. For instance, I remember that during the process, as some, I don't even remember how, but we received, it was a kind of a sample of a BRICS currency, money, the cash, and I was, come on, this is not even close to true. We are not creating a currency. So, but, and it's up to us to try to clarify, oh, this is not part of the agenda. And I think there are a lot of misconceptions regarding BRICS, especially in regarding to trade and financial issues. So we have been trying to clarify, to give people information, trying to be most to be very transparent. That's why, and as I mentioned, we publish our concept notes. So is there the information is there, what we are planning to do, what we have been done so far, what are the objectives, and I think it could be very useful to have this approach. See the relation with the United States, because I mean, it's more the bilateral relation, because BRICS doesn't act as collective part of a negotiation group to negotiate with a specific country. But I think the most important thing is to inform people of what we are doing, especially our technical cooperation agenda, because this, of course, the technical cooperation with the developed countries is super important, but also the technical cooperation among developing countries, because we share basically the same problems. So I think that when we have the opportunity to inform about BRICS, the work that we have been doing, and people normally they get surprised of what BRICS is, um, and they don't focus so much on what people think BRICS is, and these misconceptions about currency, the dollarization, or this kind of things.
Thank you. Another question is, what challenges does the expansion of the BRICS present to Brazil?
Well, this is a very interesting one. This is a question that we have been answered many times, and because and I try to, and I'll be try to be as transparent as possible. Of course, when we expand the membership, there are some challenges. Oh, we focus a lot on the positive aspects of the expanded membership, the fact that we have countries from other regions, and more, economic weight in the group. But when you add a country, it doesn't matter how like-minded this country is. There are some challenges because BRICS is based on consensus. So when you add a country, it gets more complicated. But and sometimes there were in some situations we don't know exactly, especially us as Brazil, because when you think geographically speaking, we are kind of apart from BRICS. We don't know all the regional dynamics, and when you, of course, some of them we know very well, but some dynamics, especially more technical issues, we don't know. So there is this process of learning all these dynamics, other countries also learning our how we approach consensus, because you can say, consensus, if a country say no, it's done, is no, we don't go ahead. But consensus can also be a way of saying, okay, we are try as much as possible to achieve common ground. So it's been very interesting to see this process of dealing with the expanded membership, the consent, the negotiation of declarations is more complicated because, as I said, there are more countries around the table. But it's also very interesting to have new perspectives and to see how each country plays their role in a different way. So, but is this was expected. We cannot, add a country, or in this case, add 5 countries, and expect that the process would be the same. It's more difficult to negotiate. It's more difficult, as I mentioned earlier, to inform these countries about the previous work. Most of our initial job was to, is almost a kind of BRICS archaeology. When you start to negotiate an updated action plan, you have to inform the previous countries that, oh, we had this former action plan, now we are negotiating this new one. So this is something that we think that we still need more, a couple of years more, to have everyone not only on board, but fully on board, fully aware of what is going on. And in the meantime, the negotiation of declaration is always a challenge. And doesn't matter if you have 4, 5, 6, 7, it's complicated. It's some people will look at it and say, okay, we are just crazy people, this shouldn't be like that. But is how diplomacy is built. And we do think that expanded membership sometime created some kind of discomfort, because we are not in a zone that we knew before. But from this momentary this discomfort, we think we can achieve great things and build a stronger group, piece by piece.
Yes. Thank you. I think these are the last ones related to Argentina first. Do you think that Argentina will join if someone else comes to power, since it was supposed to, but in the end it did not? And for other Latin American countries, who do you think has the potential to join soon?
Well, at this point, we are not discussing a new round of invitations to join BRICS, because we are still working on the consolidation of the group. The case of Argentina is a little bit different because they were invited. They were part of the first round of invitation. I think this is a national decision. It shouldn't be just the decision of a government, because this is not BRICS is not an initiative that is going to last for a couple of years. So our expectation is that when a country decided to join BRICS, this is part of a national reflection on that. We are not a formal group in the sense that there is no treaty, but we have this expectation of a continuity. Continuity is a principle of BRICS. So it would be very difficult to say when and if Argentina will join BRICS. They were invited, and regarding invitations, as a if I can say some words about that, when we invited to a country, you understand that each country has their own process, internal process, and we for instance, when Indonesia decide, oh, we are going to join in 2025. Okay, we respect that, because we feel that the most important thing is that that joining the group is the result of a internal reflection. And other Latin American countries, we, as Brazil, we try our best to create some bridges between BRICS and these countries. We invite them to the summit, but as I said, right now this discussion on a new round of expansion is not on the table. But of course, they can. There are some also some links with them through the bank, the BRICS, the New Development Bank. Uruguay is part of NDB, is not part of BRICS, but it's part of NDB, and Colombia also indicated that country is interested in joining the bank. So there are some space to create this links. We have Bolivia and Cuba as partner countries, and as Brazil, of course, we also always do our best to get closer to make sure that this the countries in our region have the opportunity of knowing BRICS more.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I think those were the questions.
So this is certainly a challenging subject, and we are going to have more to talk about in the coming years with Carolina and colleagues from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Brazil. And having also the possibility of participation in the New Development Bank, as you just mentioned, is another an entire field of possible cooperation and development of joint activities. So this is, again, Carolina, thank you so much for making the opening session of this year's BRICS seminar of the BRICS Study Group of the University of São Paulo, and the presence and participation you made today helps a lot give our audience a broader view of BRICS beyond what you see in the press. So this is thank you so much, and I hope we keep in touch and work together again soon. The next panel will start in 15 minutes at 10:30 Brazilian time. So in 15 minutes with Bruce Scheidel and the representatives, diplomatic representatives of different BRICS countries. So thank you for sharing these events along the week with us, and we are very glad to have you with us along the week. See you soon. Bye bye.
Thank you, Paulo. Thank you. See you soon.